you're not here to struggle. You're not here to be without. You are here to live a beautiful and abundant life.
Tuning in to the Vibrant Soul Society Conversations. I'm your host, Baba Sam, the Miracle Man. Today we have a beautiful, radiant soul with us, Elizabeth. So, Elizabeth, welcome to the conversations.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to chat.
Let's start with a nice, easy one. Who is Elizabeth?
Oh, I love that question. I'm so many things, right? I'm a mom and a wife, but my passion, my purpose is like an intuitive mentor. I'm a healer. I'm a soul activator and really here to help people step into their soul purpose and become activated in it so they can be the light that they're meant to be and serve the world and really help make an impact on this world.
So, before you became an intuitive mentor, what was life before that?
That's a great question. Yeah, I actually was working with my mom since college. In a corporate role, we did association management. I loved it. Did meeting planning. I still do some meeting planning for fun, but I was slated to take over her company when she retired. That was the plan. And then in 2020, I started to get this feeling like this isn't what you're meant to do the rest of your life. There's something bigger and deeper that you're here to do to help people in a different way.
When you felt that deeper pull, how did that change your life at that moment? How did you explore that?
I just opened myself up. I know I'm supposed to do something else, but what? I've been doing this for the past 15 years with a business major in college. What is it that I'm supposed to do? I had started to have my spiritual awakening then and knew a little bit about manifestation and mindset and spirituality. I've always been intuitive, always felt it, but never really could hone in on my gifts or focus enough to develop them. And I just started exploring on Facebook different spirituality groups and stuff and came across one Facebook group and someone posted in there that she was offering free soul purpose sessions. And I was like, oh my God, I need that. I need to know what my soul purpose is. We ended up having a reading, and she was a psychic development teacher as well. I ended up taking a course with her and a one on one development course with her where I developed my psychic abilities, my healing abilities, and that's kind of how I got started in this, learning how to channel, listen, meditate, and receive messages. And I really did feel like there was a piece missing there. Like, of course, I was meant to develop my intuition and everything, but that's not what was my sole purpose. So again, it was like, okay, well, what is it? Please tell me, right? Spirit. I would meditate every day. What am I supposed to do? Tell me what I'm supposed to do. And then one day I heard teacher leader. And I was like, all right, cool, but about what? What do I know in this space that I can help people with? Because at the time, I didn't feel confident enough to go and teach people how to develop their intuition or become psychic, right? So I just let spirit unveil itself even more and found my next mentor, mindset and manifestation coach. I fell in love with that material and that completely changed my life again, like 180 from what I, believed to be true, how I thought on a daily basis. I was like, this is it. This is what I'm meant to teach and to help people with. And a year later, it evolved again into something deeper, becoming an activator and helping people step into their purpose.
It's like you're evolving down this spiritual path. One door opens, you go explore that. Then another door opens, you go explore that. And then it just keeps going and going and going. And I tell people
Yeah.
that you're never really quite done the spiritual journey, that's always unfolding.
Right. And I think too, it's like you just want to be done and know. And then once you start to have that spiritual awakening, you realize you're never really done, right? Like there's always more to grow, there's always more to learn.
Because we came here to grow, to expand. If we stop growth and expansion, then we're not here on purpose.
Right. And then we are just being still. And then what's the point anymore, right?
Right. You're done, so there's nothing to do. And that's not really why we're here, to accept life as is. And I guess that's what you're seeing with manifestation is, okay, this is how we change reality from as is to this other state.
Right. Being able to expand so much more than we could even imagine at the current level. So you keep up leveling. And that's the beautiful part about life, right? Is being able to expand and grow.
So I think up leveling is an interesting word because sometimes if we think up leveling, that sort of gets us outside of ourself. I sort
Hmm.
of like to say that we go deeper and deeper into our essence.
Yeah, I love that too. Really connecting to yourself on a deeper level and a soul. And I don't always use the word up leveling. I also just say next level, right? Like, what
Right.
is the next level? Because, if you think of when people think of up sometimes, they might think of it more of a positive thing, but there's really no good or bad, or better or worse. It's just what is next for you to be able to expand more.
Right. That's also an interesting point when you think of it. Sometimes that next level is not all sunshine and flowers. Sometimes it's just some stuff that comes up when you're going through that next level.
Yes, there's always more stuff to be healed and let go of at every level you go to, right?
Yeah, it's always a forever process of surrender. If you think, oh, I'm clinging to this, that's not serving me. That's preventing something else from coming through.
Hmm.
So, what's your life now compared to where you were when working with your mom to now in the last, what, 3, 4 years, life shifted?
I had a good life, right? It wasn't like I was doomed or unhappy, but I was a worried person. I worried all the time. I freaked out about money once a month. Like, we're never going to have enough money to do this or do that, or we're in debt, all the things. I allowed outside circumstances to affect me all the time, always flying off the handle, kind of like, let me speak to your manager kind of person, in judgment a lot, really judging others and all the things. And it was more in a negative mindset, 100%. And since I started to really study the mindset and manifestation, it's completely different. I feel so free of judgment of others and can show up so much more in a loving and compassionate way everywhere in the world. And that's just like my inner being, right? And the outside world, I manifested our dream home. We've had tons of beautiful vacations that we've wanted to experience. I own my own business. I work for myself now, and my days are just so beautiful where I can set my own schedule and it's just such an easy and flow. And even my husband has very much been able to handle his anxiety in a more robust way and manifest things in his business so much more too. It's just been more of an ease and flow rather than always angst and what's going to happen next. If the washer breaks, I'm not going to freak out because I know it's going to be fine. But such a different way of life.
That's what I was just wondering, how has your growth impacted your family? And it sounds like you're seeing direct results of that.
Oh yeah, 100%. My husband was a very anxious person and he does have anxiety still, but he's able to have this emotional intelligence so much more about it now because of the way that I have changed how I reacted. I used to, as an empath, his emotions would affect me so much, and that doesn't help anyone. I've learned to be able to step it away and also not trying to like fix him, right? Like, 'cause there's nothing to be fixed. It's just how can we respond and handle the situation rather than the doom and gloom, right? So he's been really able to handle situations better. My kids, teaching them about how they are in control of their emotions. I have two young girls, and it has come back to bite me occasionally when I say to my younger one, "You're really frustrating me right now." And she says, "I'm not making you feel any way. You're deciding to feel that way." And I'm like, "Oh, like you're so right."
That's great that she can mirror that back to you. That's brilliant. Even that little nugget is going to help her so much in life that I'm not
Mhm.
responsible for the way you feel about me.
Because she used to say to her sister all the time, "She's making me so angry." And I'm like, "Well, you don't have to feel that way." Like, she throws it in my face.
That's good. It's a little mirror for you. That's very good. But once
Hmm.
again, it's going to help her in some point in life when life gets a little more challenging. She'll say,
Yeah.
okay, this is how I stand in my power. This is how I stand centered.
Yes. Yes.
Do you do anything like family meditations or introduce the family to meditation or journaling? What's your daily practice and how does that impact the family?
My husband is actually meditating way longer than I had, and he was doing it for a very young age. And we did go to a church where they meditated in church, so it kind of introduced the kids into it, and my kids see me do it. So sometimes if they wake up on the weekends when I'm meditating, they'll come in my meditation space and do it with me. Or if they're having a rough time, we may just sit and be for a little bit. As a healer, If my kids are having a rough time or physical ailments, I'll use my hands on them. My morning practice changes day to day, to be honest, really depending on a couple things, right? Like what's going on in the house with getting the kids off to school, and also like what am I feeling in the mood to do? Because some days it will be like sitting down and doing a meditation. Other days it will be just journaling and brain dump, or I might just do it while I'm laying in bed if I don't feel like getting up quite yet. That took practice. In the very beginning, I was very disciplined on my practice. I got up out of bed, went into my meditation space, did a 10, 15, 20-minute meditation. Then I would journal every day. I would do my gratitude journaling, my manifestations, like writing out my goals, maybe a card pull. In the very beginning, I was very disciplined and structured. Just to get in the habit and the routine, I think is so helpful.
That's what I find too, is once you develop that routine, see if you can loosen the grips of that, because the mind will try to cling on to that. It has to be this way.
Hmm. Yeah. And you could be blocking out some things that maybe your body needs in that moment.
Right? It sounds like you're tapping into your intuition. The mind wants to do these routines, these rituals, but in my heart, I am feeling pulled a different way. And you're allowing
Right.
that opportunity to open up versus your normal routine could be closing the door.
Some days I just want to walk without headphones and do a walking meditation, just listening to your intuition and what feels best for you in that moment.
Doing what feels best as opposed to the mind saying this is the right way.
Our mind can do that, but there is no right and wrong. It's really just what feels most aligned.
That's actually it. It's about emotions and our feelings and what is right for us. It's much easier to monitor our emotions as opposed to thoughts.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I see your book back there on the shelf, Manifesting with Purpose. So let's talk
Hmm.
about that a little bit because that's just catching my eye that I see that sitting there. So let's talk about that. What I'm feeling is that most people are manifestation without purpose.
I think the key here is that most people don't even know they're manifesting all the time. They think that manifestation is something you do by actively setting your goals and having this positive mindset. But realizing, and that was a big realization for me, right? Is that we're always manifesting and we're always creating a reality. But then how can we manifest with purpose, with intention, so that we can create the life that we actually want to experience and the reality we desire? That's why awareness around your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are so important so you can manifest with purpose.
Yeah, it's very good because people don't have that awareness. Your belief is creating reality. Reality doesn't show up. It's based
Right.
on your consciousness or your
100.
unconsciousness, depending where your awareness is. So, what's some of the steps that you cover how to get that mind to go into the direction that you want it to go to manifest on purpose?
Yeah, so if I had to put it in a step-by-step process of manifesting, the number one thing first is awareness, right? Becoming aware of where your dominant thoughts and your dominant feelings have been in the past. What is the dominant energy that you've been in? Has it been a negative mindset or has it been a positive mindset rather than why are these things happening for me? Because we believe if you're in this positive mindset, you believe that everything is always working out for you and everything happens for a reason, right? Even if we don't understand it, we can know that there is a greater purpose here for all these things and trusting and knowing that we are always going to be okay and supported. And so, really becoming aware of where your limiting thoughts are, right? And what you believe is possible for you. And then, once you become aware of these thoughts, you can decide, are these serving me for my highest good, or are they things that I can let go of and create a new belief? How am I going to feel about these things? Creating a new identity for yourself of who you want to be with all your goals achieved. What do you want your life to look like? Setting your goals, deciding what it is that you desire in life. What is it that you desire to achieve? What is it that how you want to expand? And we don't want to be attached so much to that outcome, to those goals. Like, I really need this to happen or I won't be happy. It's, I would love this to happen, but I'm open to all the possibilities that could come my way. Because when we do that, the universe will surprise you with how beautiful things can unfold, even better than you could have imagined. So, those are the first three steps. So become aware of your current thoughts, decide if you want to change them, decide what the new thoughts are going to be, what you want to believe to be true, setting and figuring out what it is that you desire. And then for me, really, after that is establishing that connection to a higher power, to source, to spirit, to God, universe, whatever it is you resonate with. I use them all interchangeably. Taking that time to develop a meditation practice, taking that time to feel that connection to the energy, and then visualize is huge, like visualization. And if you're new to manifestation, the act of visualization is basically going into your imagination and seeing yourself at the end result with your current goal achieved, seeing your dream life unfolding in your imagination. But most importantly, paying attention to is how you feel once you achieve those goals. The Feeling is a Secret is a book by Neville Goddard. The feeling is what's going to help shift your vibration. It's going to help shift your energy. And that's how you start attracting the things that you desire, by being an energetic match to those things. And that we do that based on our emotions, right? And then, like, my last thing is, what some people don't realize, is taking inspired action, actually taking action and moving. So you can visualize and meditate and do all the things and say, I would love this to happen and I'm so grateful it's happened. But actually moving your body towards that goal, taking action, is going to help pull it towards you so much faster. It's like creating this magnetic pull than if you would just sit here and wait for it. So that, in a nutshell, is my step-by-step manifestation one-on-one.
And that's some very important points in there too, is you don't want to get fixed or attached to the outcome because, as you mentioned, this can become a limitation and the
Yeah,
universe may have something better in store for you. There might be something beyond that that you can't even imagine that's allowing those doors to open up.
100%.
Yeah, that's really about the simple process. We just got to allow ourselves to go there, and we have to take that inspired action because you might have the intuition to go do this, to go do
Yeah.
that. Sometimes things just can't be delivered to you. They have to be steps or doors moved.
Right. I mean, everything is already yours, right? Your desires are already yours. It's just taking those steps to kind of bring it into your current reality, right? And also in divine timing, that things are meant to come in at certain times. So trusting the process of the unfoldment of when things are to come into your reality.
And be mindful of the negative, intrusive thoughts coming that will block that. Because the mind does not like change. The mind doesn't like change and it will fight and will possibly come up with stories: you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're
Mhm.
not deserving. So how do you help people move through those kind of beliefs that are really sticky?
A lot of these limiting beliefs that we have are programmed in us, right? And we may not know where they came from, but it's our ego trying to keep us safe, because change is uncomfortable. Like you said, newness is uncomfortable, and challenges are uncomfortable. And our ego doesn't like it, right? Our mind doesn't like that change. So it tries to keep us safe. So it feeds us these thoughts that are going to keep us down in the same level that you're at, and really just becoming aware of them and not giving them meaning, not also being hard on yourself if you do have negative thoughts, because we are spiritual beings here to have a human experience, and that is part of being human, is to have these negative thoughts, also to have contrast, right? And if we didn't know the bad, we wouldn't know the good. If we didn't know the dark, we wouldn't know the light. So it is necessary for these negative thoughts to come in, but to show us what it is that we don't want, right? Because if you didn't know what you didn't want, you wouldn't know what you actually wanted. So really just becoming aware of these thoughts, and you can ask yourself, are these thoughts serving me for my highest good? Are they helping me get to the thing that I actually desire? Are they empowering us? And if not, you can say, thank you for the awareness of what I don't want in my life. And I release these thoughts with love and light. And I choose now to believe this, right? And change the thought. What is it that you would love to believe instead? And feel how it would feel to actually feel that. And for my clients, I tell that if you're really having a hard time getting rid of that sticky thought, there's healings that you can do. There's somatic healings, energy healings. But also, if there's a thought playing in my head all day because I'm just having a bad day, I will literally call upon my spirit team. Everyone has a spirit team. that consists of angels, spirits, guides, past loved ones. I will call upon my spirit team and ask them to help me release this thought pattern, this negative thought, this negative emotion, because I know it's not serving me. And honestly, every time within 5 minutes, I notice that my thought pattern has changed. I notice that my emotions have changed, or I'm distracted by something else now. I'm not going to spiral anymore. So, just some things that you can try.
One of the things I found helpful when my thoughts were very sticky, because I didn't have any separation from my thoughts. I was my thoughts. And that's where meditation helped me to get some distance from those thoughts. Is that you're seeing
Mm.
the same things that you're recommending ways to see the thoughts in a different way? Do you find meditation useful that way?
I think it might be difficult to meditate if my mind is racing a million miles per hour, right? They call it that monkey mind. You could just do it by taking grounding breaths. That will help distract you to go into meditation, like, well, because you're counting. So if you did like a 4 count where you're breathing in, holding for 4 count, releasing for 4 count, you become distracted because you're focusing on counting in your belly rather than your thoughts. Meditation is great for some, but for me, it's movement. Even if I have to turn on a song and dance and move the body, move the energy, like I said, calling my spirit team or going to gratitude. What am I grateful for right now in this moment? What am I grateful that I have in my life right now? And feeling that gratitude, that's what helps shift me out of that sticky negative thought. I think really for me, it's like allowing yourself to dream bigger, removing the limits of what you think you can achieve. Because a lot of times we say, I don't have the zeal for that, or I don't want that, because underlying, we don't think it's possible for us to have it. Right. A lot of times people, and I do this too, like I have no zeal really to own very expensive or exquisite things like luxury brand names. It's just not my thing. But if someone was like, you want to have this? Give it to me. Sure, you would give it. Same thing with like $1 million. Lots of times people are saying, well, I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't want to be a millionaire. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's also nothing wrong with wanting to be that. For me, the more money I have, the more money I can give. The more money I can be generous with my loved ones, with charities, taking this negative connotation around desiring more. I think it doesn't make you greedy, it doesn't make you materialistic. It's with the intention of bringing in more so you can do more in this world, right? And that it's possible for you, and that anything you desire, I truly believe, comes from spirit, comes from source, the universe, because everything's already yours. It's already done, right? You're just becoming aware of them at the right time, in divine timing, when you're ready to bring this into your current reality. And really trusting in the process and trusting in the timing, because you want all these things, right? But you're not physically ready to hold them. Your energetic body isn't ready. You will lose them because your nervous system will freak out and be like, I don't know what to do. I can't handle all this abundance. I'm not ready for it. I don't feel worthy. And then you will self sabotage. Trusting the process, that the expansion process might be a little bit slower for some than others, and that's okay. But we're all on our own journey, and not to compare yourself to anyone else's journey when creating your dream life.
That's perfect. Allow yourself to dream bigger because abundance is infinite. There's no limitations except those in our head saying, you can't have that.
It's only the limit you put on yourself, because we're limitless. Our potential is limitless, the abundance is limitless.
Right. And I like that too. Your nervous system will freak out. Your body will get a response to some of these changes that if they're too big, your mind's saying, I'm not deserving, I'm not worthy. And when I think about this quite a bit, that I see quite often, if I take someone in the 8, 9 level pain level down to 2, 3, there's a good chance it will come back tomorrow back to that 8, 9 because their body's saying, where'd my pain go?
It's so conditioned. It's like you took my identity away, right?
Yeah, and that's it, our identity. We get really attached to our identity that this is my life, like you in the corporate world, your mom, this is my identity, this is what I'm supposed to do. But there's a deeper essence within you saying, Elizabeth, is this really what you want? The deeper
Right.
voice was whispering to
Right.
you, is this really what you want?
Exactly. Yeah. And it was going to be a good, well-paying job that I would have been fine with. But is this fulfilling? And is this really what your soul is really here to do? Right. But probably back then when I decided to work for her, my body wasn't ready for that. Like my soul wasn't ready to take on the responsibility, the exploration of all the things that I've had to do over the past few years.
Yeah, I would say your soul was ready, your mind wasn't ready.
That could be, yeah, yeah, 100%. My body, my mind and my body was not ready.
It was protesting, no, 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 that's changed. We can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would pick up tarot cards and like try to like learn them and read them and my mind would never focus. Like it was like, nope, I can't do this, don't want to do this. And I'd put them down and I tried multiple times and then finally it was like, okay, you're ready, let's go.
Right? It's good you listen to yourself. A lot of people don't listen to themselves. They don't trust themselves that they deserve better, that they can have a better life. So that's really a sticky issue for a lot of people is trusting themselves, trusting their insights. How do you help them with that? Once again, that trust, that confidence that they got this.
I use techniques too, right? Like I just teaching them about meditation and how to listen to that first thought that comes in your head. Because for me, it's like that first thought, that first answer is my intuition, my higher self. And everything after that is my ego, right? The being like, oh, wait a second. No, no, no. Like I'm going to come in and tell you all the reasons why you can't do this and why this is not a good idea and all the things, right? So really being able to recognize that. But I also like teach somatic tools using your body as a human pendulum, right? Like using muscle testing. So we can actually use our bodies to get yes, no answers and learning to how to do that where you're asking spirit to help guide you. The more you practice it, actually, I will get answers before like I use a sway method where I'm standing up straight and I ask my body a question and get a yes, no answer. But now that I'm so used to doing it and my intuition is so much stronger, I'll get the answer before my body even moves, right? For most things, right? There's just so many different techniques you can use, but really it is finding that trust in a higher power, right? And it's all about a belief. What would you love to believe to be true? Would you like to believe that we're just here by ourselves and there's no other forces or energy supporting and guiding us? Or how would it feel to believe you are divinely supported and guided all the time? And maybe look at past evidence, right? Look at past situations where things actually worked out and you didn't know how they were going to work out, or you were protected and you didn't know how. I can't believe that I was okay, or I can't believe things worked out, or thank God that that accident didn't hurt me worse than it did, right? All these things you could look and believe that that's divine intervention, right? And I'll give you just a simple example for me physically. Like there was a time I lived in a house with a wood staircase, and my daughter was I think 1.5 at the time, and I had her in my arms and I slipped at the top of the staircase and I fell down the entire staircase. But while I was falling down, the entire time I felt like I was going in slow motion, like so slow. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm falling. Okay, protect the baby's head. Make sure she doesn't get hurt. Oh my gosh, I'm still falling. Okay, baby's still okay. I'm still like seriously, that went on like 4 different times. I said that to myself going down, being like, all right, I'm still falling here, but if baby's okay, protect. And it was the craziest thing. Like truly feeling like I was being carried down those stairs with this baby in my arms.
Yeah, because once again, we're never alone, that there's always help around us.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Oh, I just got chills when I said that. So for me, like my physical like confirmation is like full body energy chills. So I
Yeah,
love that
because we're never alone. We do have the spiritual team here with us.
all times.
And you just be more,
Mhm.
you're just more aware of them once you have that meditation practice and can slow down and see things. Because
Yeah.
they actually done studies on this. People that meditate experience the present moment 3 to 4 times longer than someone else that
Mm.
doesn't have a meditation practice.
I love that. I love that so much.
So time indeed does slow down when you meditate because you're not so tied up in the thoughts. And,
Right.
and there's something you said too that I think is very important, and that in the talk that it's very important to people to understand our intuitive insights are factual. do this, do that. There's no story about it. Behind what you were saying with the ego will say, don't do this because of all these reasons. Once
Right.
again, the ego doesn't like change, but your intuitive voice is almost like a knowing voice. Do this, do that, with no rhyme or reason. It makes no sense sometimes.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is just trusting, right? Like this makes no sense, but I guess I'll do it anyway because your higher self, it's I don't know if you've ever seen a picture, it's like where you're in a field, right? And there's all these pits and mountains or holes and everything. You can't see where they all are, but your higher self can see the clearest path. And sometimes it's not always a straight path, right? Sometimes it's that really windy path, but all of that those wines are for a reason, right? To help you grow and expand in some way.
I also want people to understand that our higher self is really our true self. That's really who we are, and we get lost in this body identity.
Yeah, that's a very beautiful, important part, right? Like your higher self is not really, it's not outside of you, right? It's not this thing like a God in the sky, right? It's all within you. The same thing with, for me, I truly believe source energy is within me and that we are an extension of source energy as well.
It's all one thing. That's why abundance is infinite, because we are the infinite consciousness.
Yeah,
Even,
and
even
realizing your divine right is to be abundant and live an abundant right life. And you're not here to struggle. You're not here to be without. You are here to live a beautiful and abundant life, however it is that you desire.
but sometimes struggle is part of the journey because once again, as you talked before, it's the contrast. If we didn't have the contrast, there wouldn't be any motivation to change things.
Well, right, exactly. And also, there be some things that you chose as a soul to come here and experience, right? So, knowing that this was here to grow you, expand you. And if we got everything we wanted all at once, like it was all done, life would be pretty boring, right? You'd be like, okay, well, now what? Like, I have everything I want. Like, now what do I do? You know what I mean? It's like, it wouldn't be interesting. It wouldn't be challenging. And that's a big part of life. And then you would just kind of be like, all right, I'm done here. Like you said earlier, like, I'm done growing. So now what? Like, bye.
There would no point to life if it was that simple. That there's always a quote out there: as you climb one mountain, there's another mountain behind it. 'Cause that's life. That's how we grow, is through these challenges and mountains and our daily experiences, that it's not necessarily a smooth ride.
And it's all in perspective too, right? If you look at it and you look at those challenges and those mountains and everything is like the worst thing in the world, then they will be for you. But how can you change your perspective to look at the silver lining, right? And how, like I said earlier, these things are actually for you rather than happening to you.
Elizabeth, thank you for joining us today. What is that one thing you would leave with everyone from all this we discussed today?
Hmm. With all this manifestation talk and everything that, I really love how we talked a little bit about being present in the moment because all we have is now is this beautiful present moment and really just enjoying life at all moments, the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and just opening your eyes to what all is possible for you and opening your heart and opening yourself to receive all that is meant for you and all that is possible for you.
That is a great place to leave people, to can go back and watch this again, because there's a lot of good nuggets in here. They can get your book and get it more concrete for them to manifest on purpose.
Exactly.
So thanks for joining the conversations today. Great to see you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for having me.